Hello everyone, welcome to this week 2 in the global business environment module. Today we are going to discuss about the surveillance capitalism, how market and organization have evolved. Today we will explore one of the most significant economic shift of the global digital area. So the rise of the surveillance capitalism, we will trace the evolution from the traditional capitalist model, and we can know that there is a new system where the most valuable commodity is no longer produce or service but human experience itself, and it going to translate it into behavioral data. Now, what is the learning outcome? By the end of the session, you will be able to contrast the principle of the traditional capitalism with this new model, explain how surveillance capitalism works and why it is fundamentally different, and identify its profound impact on both business and the consumer, including critical ethical concern, and finally reflect on societal trade-off between the personalization and the privacy and growing role in the regulation. So this is the introduction of the traditional capitalism. Let's establish our baseline. In traditional capitalism, the market dynamics was straightforward. Companies produce tangible goods or services like cars, food, or banking, and it can be sold them to the consumer for a profit. So the revenue equation was simple: price times unit sold. That means the relationship was primarily transactional. Now, the role of the organization of the traditional capitalism in this system, the primary role of the business was to improve production efficiency, manage supply chain, and build a strong brand to meet and stimulate market demand. Success was measured by sales volume and market share. Like for example, Ford's assembly line is a classic example, focusing on producing more cars faster, cheaper, and mass consumer market. Now, the consumer behavior in the traditional capitalism, the consumer role was equally clear. They made purchasing decision based on the factors they are aware of in terms of price, quality, features, and the brand reputation, and relationship was direct and relatively transparent, and they needed, if you needed any loan, you went to the bank and compared their interest rate and the terms and condition. So in the key historical transformation, we can see three different revolution: agricultural industrialization and internet, that is the information age. At the first stage, we are focused about the food supply and population growth. Now in the second evolution, we can see that is the industrialization, where we are emphasis on the mass production and significant economic and social changes. And this is the digital age, where the internet, we are looking for the global connectivity, constant information access, and the rise of the social media and artificial intelligence. So the shift towards the surveillance capitalism, that is particularly rise of the internet and mobile technology, and created a new raw material that is called behavioral data. And companies realize that data can be exist in the online. It is created by our likes, searches, clicks, and the location, which could be harvested, analyzed, and used to predict, eventually influence our future behavior, and this is called surveillance capitalism. So the business model of the surveillance capitalism, there is a fundamental shift. In the surveillance capitalism, the primary product is not the service to offer you, but the prediction about you, which means the companies like Google and Facebook provide fee services that extract the behavioral data, and their real customers are the advertiser who pay for access to their predictive futures. We are not a customer, we are the source of the raw materials. So consumer behavior in the surveillance capitalism, our role is that is consumer has changed dramatically. So unknowingly, we become unpaid data producer through our everyday online activities. This data is then added into algorithm and it shapes our reality, and it gives our news suggesting our friends, and also critically for the business and targeting us for hyper personalized ad designed to take our purchasing decision, often without our conscious awareness. But there is some negative impacts of the surveillance capitalism, and this model raises some concern that leads to unprecedented invasion of our privacy and create the risks of the data security breaches. And it enables the behavioral manipulation on the massive scale. The Cambridge Analytica, that is one of the example that scandal demonstrate that how this tool can be used to manipulate voter opinion, shows that these threats is not just our wallet but the fabric of our democracy. So what is the impact on business? For business, this model offers powerful benefits, unparalleled customer targeting, and new revenue stream for data itself. However, it also creates a significant ethical and operational risk. Companies face backlash when their data practices are exposed. They must navigate a complex new landscape of regulation. Practices like dynamic pricing, where price change based on your practice, that can also invade customers' trust, and it also handled transparently. So what is the impact on the consumers? For the customers, trade-off is clear. We gain the convenience and personalization, but we pay our privacy and autonomy. And there is a growing power of these factors, and where corporations know more about our desire and habit than we do ourselves. And this has sparked a global movement demanding data rights, leading to regulation like GDPR in the Europe, and which aim to give individual feedback that to control over their personal information. So let's summarize the discussion. We have moved from a system where profit came from making and selling things to one which comes from predicting and shaping human behavior, and this shift presents business with powerful tools but also profound ethical challenges. For society, it forces us to confront critical question: what is the balance between innovation and individual rights, between convenience and the autonomy? The future of our digital markets will be defined by how we answer this question through regulation and corporate ethical and our own choices as consumer. Thank you for listening. If you have any question, you can ask me in the class, and also we can discuss in one-to-one basis for more support and information.